Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's Fergatello back in here with another YouTube video. First of all, I want to start this video off by saying that I don't have social media, so I don't have like Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff. I don't have it. Don't really like social media, never have, probably never will. But with that being said, all the information that I've gotten has been through YouTube. So I've been seeing a lot of videos lately about why fighting games aren't mainstream, why they aren't like super popular. And I kind of mentioned this in a previous video, even though that was more of a rant. I was pretty frustrated, I'm not gonna lie, when I made that video and just started ranting and whatnot. But this kind of has something to do with that. At least that's why I think fighting games aren't mainstream. System issues, all the other stuff aside, fighting games is in an interesting spot in my opinion. I kind of put it in the same category as like a Dark Souls / Demon Souls / any other popular From Software game that come up in the past like 10 years. The games are challenging, right? It's not for everybody. You love to watch people do it, watch people get frustrated, but when you actually play it yourself, like, oh man, this is a little bit tougher than I thought it was going to be. I think fighting games is the same exact way. A lot of flashy stuff, a lot of cool stuff that goes on, but how do I put it? The idea of someone going into a game, getting beat constantly until they learn, what mistakes they're making, and they have to go into the, practice tool, practice combo routes and whatnot. And if you want to get really sweaty, you could practice all these different scenarios and whatnot. The idea of doing that is not very popular with the general population. I'm okay with it because one of the first games I played was a fighting game, so I'm a little bit more biased towards stuff like this. Plus I love Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, Sekiro. I love all those, Ninja Gaiden. I love all those types of games. They're really challenging games. So I'm a little biased when it comes to that, but not everybody is like that, obviously. So that definitely has something to do with it, at least in my opinion. People, whether they're kids, whether it's adults or whatever, come home from school, coming home from work, people are tired, they might have had a long, frustrating day or something like that. They want to come home and do something that's relaxing, something that's easy. Fighting games aren't necessarily the easiest. They can be easy, but you have to put in the work for it. People aren't necessarily up for putting in the work for fighting games. I think that what companies are doing now, like what's going on with like Guilty Gear Strive, it's being a little bit more accessible. I know a lot of people don't like that word, but it's being a little bit more accessible to the general population, trying to branch out and whatnot. I think that's good, making the game not necessarily well okay, I guess it is making the game a little easier than it most people are probably used to. I guess this is my first Guilty Gear title, so I don't really know. I can't really say if it's easy or not compared to the other games, but just based off of the videos I've seen and a couple of buddies of mine who've played the game before, it is a little easier. But regardless, doing things like that brings in more people and ultimately keeps them. I like to use the example of World of Warcraft. WoW wasn't a hard game, but it was very, very grindy. Very, very, very grindy. But as time went on, the devs started to realize, hey, even though this is really grindy, we did really good when we kind of made things a little bit more easier, a little bit more accessible to the your average everyday gamer. Not everybody's a pro gamer. Not everybody's going to be a hardcore gamer. You have some casual, your casual folk in the gaming community. So I think it was around Wrath of the Lich King, I want to say, is when the game started getting easier and more people started coming to the game like, oh, this is really cool. So I get the idea of doing that, and I'm not opposed to it at all. But obviously MMOs are a little bit different than fighting games. Yeah, I think that definitely has a lot to do with it. The ease of it, whether or not they could do combos and look cool doing it and feel cool doing it. You know, no one likes to, well, not no one, but most people don't like to get, you know, they were high and beat all the time, you know, trying to figure something out. Not everybody's built like that. People are just built different. So yeah, until devs figure out how to, I guess, alleviate that part of gaming, of fighting games in general, I think that fighting games are always going to be sort of a niche thing. I think the closest that they got to a lot of people, you know, branching out and whatnot and bringing in people who've never played fighting games was probably Dragon Ball FighterZ. At least in the States, DBZ is just a household name. A lot of people grew up with it. So it's definitely a lot easier when somebody's like, oh, there's a Dragon Ball Z fighting game. Of course, there was, you know, Budokai Tenkaichi, you know, all those games way back when. But it wasn't your, I guess, quote unquote, like traditional like 2D fighting game. So FighterZ definitely did a good job with that. I think what they're doing over there is really, really good. The more companies start doing stuff like that, I don't know, maybe bring in some pretty popular IPs, make them into fighting games, people would probably be more inclined to branch out and play something they're not used to. Also, before I forget, the last character to be revealed for Melted Blood type Lumina was just, the video for it was just released earlier this morning, and that new character is Saber from the Fate series. I think that's really, really cool. It's going to bring in a lot of new people, potentially, of course. I know that there are people who don't know that this game and Fate are technically a part of the same verse. So I think realizing that, and probably this might even get some people into the visual novels. I think it'll be a really good thing for the game and just fighting games in general. It might have the same effect as FighterZ. I don't think it'll be as I guess intense as what happened with FighterZ, but I think it'll be pretty close because the people who love Fate are super ultra diehard fans. So this might bring in some new faces, maybe, potentially. Yeah, but anyway, I'm finished ranting and raving and whatnot. If you liked the video, then please like the video, share, comment, subscribe, all the other good stuff. Of course, if you didn't like the video, then just let me know you didn't like it. If you have a critique or something like that, you know, I'm open for everything. But anyway, till next time.
それは私というノイズの誕生を予測できなかったことだ。